This update tonight comes straight from the trenches. We've spent most of the day yesterday and today digging this trench here, which intersects with a trench at the front of the building. We've left this little corner alone because this is what's supporting the whole building at the moment. There's just a couple cinder blocks there that are carrying everything. That's all that was carrying it before we started digging. And if I get down here a little bit, you can see these two blocks on the corner are what's supporting the building, and then it just falls away to nothing. And this was all fallen in and collapsed. So there wasn't really anything here holding it other than brick that had fallen over. And the purpose for this update tonight is to show you what I found, which I think will be important to know maybe down the road, if we ever do have any sort of sewer issues. Found the main sewer stack right there, that cast iron pipe. And the domestic water comes in right beside it. So tomorrow when it's a little lighter, we'll get down there and check to see how that looks. But what we did find was where the pipe exits the building. And what I found was this broken block. So I started digging it out to, replace that one block. And what I found was the sewer pipe is right below it. And the way I know is because when I'm tapping it with the hammer, I'm hearing the characteristic sound that cast iron kind of makes. And so I don't want to beaten on that too much more because I don't want to break that cast iron pipe. So what I'm going to do tonight is I think I'm just going to find a board, clean this out the best that I can, and pour a little concrete over it tonight, let it set up so that when I go to set these blocks tomorrow to replace all these blocks that have tipped over, and they will be filled with cement and rebar, so hopefully they'll be a lot stronger than what happened here. This is kind of the mess we see here. So we dug this trench out today and yesterday, and the other big accomplishment today was this front step that was 6-8 inches thick, concrete, 2 layers, is now, let me walk out of the trench here a little bit, is now a big pile of rubble. So we'll have to get rid of this pretty quick. I don't know what to do with all of this other than take it to the transfer station, but this in itself is probably an entire load and will be our entire maybe a week or two worth of transfer dump. We only can go to the transfer station once a week with demolition debris due to the fact that the way they've priced it. It's $7.50 a cubic yard. And this truck right here is what we've been using because it does have, and I apologize for the mess of the dash, but I do have a City of Old Town and a City of Lincoln dump permits for this vehicle. It's the only vehicle I have a dump permit for. And this is 1.5 cubic feet of waste. So this truck right here would be around $10 to take it to the dump the first time. The second time, it's $37.50 a truckload. So the second time in a week would probably be around $50. So we try to limit us going to the transfer station once a week. This week we took shingles, sheetrock, and wood debris, and some various bag debris that Jolene picked up inside the house, combination of sheetrock, insulation, various stuff. And this week was, I think, $10. So we got the trailer and the truck for $10. Seems like it's different every week, depends upon who's judging the trash for the week. So I have other things I want to get rid of this week, primarily this pile of wood trash. This I may go through tomorrow when I'm hot. It's going to be really hot again tomorrow, and see if I can't maybe save some of this from having to go to the transfer station, get this cut up, and maybe Jolene can use it for firewood. And I've got this tin that's all the drip edge from the house where we've been reshingling. I'd really like to get rid of that stuff this week. And we forgot to take these bags to the transfer station this week, so they will have to go next week as well. So I'm hiding those behind the bush. But I got quite a mess here. Wood from this debris that just kind of fell apart and crumbled in our hands as we took it apart. If you take a look at some of this wood, there's not much left to it. And it does create a little bit of a powder storm when you drop it. So there wasn't much left to this addition, and we knew that when we purchased the building. We knew this was coming off because it had issues, foundation issues, rot issues, and it just didn't do anything for the house. It really hid the house. It hid this whole addition section down here. And I got more of a mess here. Plywood we saved off the building, scaffolding, trash. This limiting on trash has really been a problem. But is it worth $100? I don't know. It can sit there for another week for $100. This is out front. We have found that we need to replace a sill. Not too bad of a job, I don't think. We've got some support inside, so tomorrow morning while the sun's beating out here, I'm going to crawl underneath the building and jack up the floor joist to help support the building. Evidently, the last time this was done, the gentleman left most of the supporting structure and timbers down there, so all I need to do is just get down there, put in some blocking to support the timber that he left on top of the attached to the rafters, kind of in this neat sliding thing. So he evidently got this one timber in there and then rigged it up so that he could slide it back and forth as he was working on various parts of the building. But these blocks are all filled now, have rebar and concrete on them, and this is up to basically where the top of grade is. The blocks look very nasty and messy, and I'm not a very good mason. But most of these blocks were salvaged from this addition that we tore down. So they're kind of messy on the outside. But we're just going to coat everything in a coat of block bond. We're going to put some insulation on it and then put block bond over that so the weed whackers don't mess it up too bad. That will help with the insulating factor of it. And then we're going to put a ledger board along the bottom of the building to replace those shingles that we had to take off in order to gain access to the sill. So that's what we've been working on today and yesterday. The other thing that happened today is we did lose our generator. The gentleman that had been loaning me the truck and the generator finally decided he needed it back because he had his job he needed to do with the truck, not with the generator. So he graciously offered to let me use a small generator. Pretty nice looking one. I'm keeping it covered up so people don't know what it is, so it doesn't stand out so much from the road. But I'm only going to need that tomorrow, because tomorrow at 10 o'clock, can't wait, we will have electricity. The electrician's coming, the utilities company is coming, Amerimain, and they are going to put some energy into that box, and hopefully we will have some little electrons flowing out the other side. That's main purpose, the only purpose that I'm really excited about, is we're going to have something cold to drink. It's going to be great, especially with the heat that we've been having. So this video's gone on for about 10 minutes, and I've talked and talked and talked, but look at this pile. I'm excited. This is all a major headache gone, and we just got to put it all back, and that's going to be the easy part, because getting it out of that hole was a lot of work. So I'm going to let you folks go. I'm going to go form up that little hole down there, pour a little cement in that hole, and maybe I'll use the rest of it to fill. I think I've got one block that I can get some concrete in there. That one right there on the end, just under that 8x8. I think I can get some concrete in that block and finish that out. So till next time, have a great evening, everybody.